Someone holds you in their thoughts constantly, yet remains distant, and the truth behind that gap will leave you stunned. Pause for a moment. What you're about to discover isn't simple. It reaches into the silent territory between two souls who experience everything, yet express almost nothing. When a particular individual occupies your mental space persistently, not sporadically, not by chance, but continuously, there exists significance beyond mere coincidence. And when separation exists between you, whether emotional, geographical, or unspoken, understand this. The gap isn't what it appears to be. Point 1. The individual consuming your thoughts genuinely cares for you, not through theatrical displays or cinematic gestures, not via endless texts or constant declarations, rather through something weighted, hushed, and frequently agonizing. This isn't someone who erased your memory. This isn't someone who transitioned smoothly forward. This person carries your essence wherever they wander. They retain minute details, your inflection, your responses, how you generated feelings of security or vulnerability within them. Then why the separation? Because affection doesn't automatically draw people nearer. Sometimes affection forces people backward. Point 2. Affection occasionally triggers anxiety rather than bravery. When someone authentically cares for you, something precarious awakens internally. They begin recognizing their deficiencies, potential losses, unreadiness to commit. You don't merely contact their emotions, you contact their inadequacies, historical traumas, unresolved fragments. That frightens them, not because your actions were harmful, but because your actions were precisely correct. You generated sensations they hadn't prepared to experience. Point 3. The separation isn't refusal, it's self-preservation. This revelation may startle you, so concentrate carefully. The distance emerges because they experience excessive emotion, not insufficient emotion. They recognize that approaching closer means falling harder, becoming exposed, potentially losing command. Rather than accepting that risk, they select silence. Causing you pain isn't their intention, yet they're petrified of harming themselves or disappointing you. Separation transforms into their shield. Point 4. They believe you warrant someone superior. This represents one of the most excruciating realities. Observing you, they contemplate, I'm inadequate for this individual. They perceive your emotional complexity, your standards, your ability to offer complete devotion. Instead of elevating themselves to match that level, they diminish. They convince themselves they'll experience greater happiness without me. I'll inevitably let them down. I lack stability, readiness, or healing. Distance becomes their distorted expression of caring. Point 5. They're engaged in internal combat invisible to you. While you question their absence of communication, they're wrestling with thoughts like, should I initiate contact or maintain silence? If I reappear, will I destroy everything? Can I provide what they require? Their quietness isn't tranquil. It roars within their consciousness. They revisit shared moments. They construct dialogues that never materialize. They long for you in methods they confess to nobody. Point 6. Affection without restoration generates distance. Here's a difficult reality many individuals evade. Affection alone proves insufficient when someone remains unhealed. If they harbor previous betrayals, abandonment scars, commitment phobias, or autonomy fears, then affection resembles danger. You symbolize intimacy. Intimacy symbolizes obligation. Obligation symbolizes potential suffering. Consequently, they manufacture space, not from indifference, but from caring excessively. Point 7. They distrust themselves with your emotions. This component rarely receives vocal acknowledgement. They distrust their personal reliability, emotional equilibrium, capacity to remain present. They comprehend your depth of feeling. They grasp your seriousness, and they fear entering something they might prove unable to safeguard. Distance appears safer than shattering your heart. Point 8. Why your consciousness keeps returning to them. Now let's address your experience. Why can't your mind release them? Because emotional bonds don't dissolve when dialogue ceases. Your spirit detected incomplete energy, unexpressed reality, a bond that wasn't permitted to fully develop. Your consciousness revisits them because something was suspended, not concluded. Separation, absent resolution, generates mental repetition. Point 9. They contemplate you during unexpected moments, during nighttime hours, throughout peaceful intervals. When particular triggers evoke your memory, they wonder, are they all right? Do they still remember me? What might have occurred if I'd shown greater courage? Yet they don't initiate contact because affection combined with anxiety produces immobility. Point 10. The astonishing reality regarding the separation. Here's the truth surprising most individuals. The distance exists because this bond would transform them, and not everyone's prepared for transformation. You challenge their established behaviors. You mirror their darkness. You propose evolution they hadn't anticipated. Rather than developing, they withdraw. Distance becomes an interruption in metamorphosis. Point 11. This explains why demanding resolution never succeeds. If you pursue explanations, if you insist upon transparency, if you apply pressure for responses, they retreat further, not because your approach is incorrect, but because force activates their anxiety. Certain truths only emerge when fear diminishes. Point 12. What this signifies for your journey. This constitutes the most crucial component. You aren't unworthy of affection. You weren't excessive. You didn't fabricate the connection. You encountered. Someone yells for him to get back. But Trayvon walks straight toward the dog, hands out, palms open. Don't, he says, not to the dog, to the rookie. Don't shoot him. The Malinois swings his head toward Trayvon. Those amber eyes lock on again. The growling stops. The dog's ears twitch forward just slightly, like he's listening for something he hasn't heard in a long time. Trayvon takes another step, then another. He's close enough now to see the dried blood caked in the muzzle's edges, close enough to smell the mix of wet fur and fear and something sharper, infection maybe, from a wound no one bothered to clean. Easy, Trayvon whispers. I'm not gonna hurt you. The dog tilts his head. It's subtle, almost confused, like he's trying to remember what kindness sounds like. Trayvon reaches out, slow, fingers trembling. He touches the dog's head, just the top between the ears. The fur is coarse, matted, cold from the rain. The Malinois flinches, but he doesn't pull away. He leans in, just a fraction, just enough. Then Vance moves. He's back on his feet, baton in hand, and he's lunging forward, arm raised, ready to bring it down on the dog's skull. I said shoot. The dog spins. Faster than Trayvon can blink, faster than Vance can swing. The Malinois doesn't bite. He doesn't have to. He plants himself between Trayvon and Vance, body low, weight balanced, and the baton stops mid-arc. Vance freezes. The dog's lips peel back behind the muzzle, showing teeth that are yellow and cracked but still sharp enough to make a point. The rookie's gun is still out. His finger hovers over the trigger. The rain streams down his face. He's sweating despite the cold. Sergeant, I don't have a clean shot. The kid's too close. Vance's chest heaves. His face is purple. Spit flies when he talks. Then move the kid. Don't touch him. The voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. It's not loud, but it's firm, commanding, the kind of voice that's used to being obeyed. The crowd turns. An older man steps out from behind a parked cruiser. He's maybe 65, gray-haired, with a limp that favors his left leg. He's wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, no badge, no uniform, but everyone knows him. Captain Roderick "Rod" Mabry, retired, 28 years on the force. Half the cops in this lot trained under him. Mabry walks through the crowd like he owns the place. He doesn't hurry, doesn't shout. He just walks up to the rookie and gently pushes the gun down until it's aimed at the ground. "Lower your weapon, son." The rookie hesitates, glancing at Vance. Vance glares. "Captain, that animal is a threat. It broke its restraint. It defended a child," Mabry interrupts. His voice is calm, almost bored. "From an adult with a weapon. That's not aggression, Vance. That's training." He looks at the dog, squinting through the rain. The Malinois hasn't moved. He's still in position, body between Trayvon and Vance, head low, watching everyone at once. Mabry nods slowly. "Aye,